Hey everybody. So today I'll be showing you how to make a homemade DIY restoration tugging device that works pretty well. What you're going to need is $20 worth of materials found at your local Walmart, which is where I found all the stuff that I use to make this device. Or you could go to your local Walmart and find the same things for $20 or less. And yeah, so how this device works is you have a knee strap here that's elastic, and you wear this strap around your knee, and that connects to the device. And what you do is you place your head in the cone, you roll your skin over, and then you lock your skin in between the bell and the cone under tension. And so that's going to give you the tugging tension needed to tug or to restore. And yeah, this device works pretty well, and all you need is $20 worth of materials you can find at your local supermarket. And that's how this thing works. So let's get started. Let me show you how to make this step by step. So what you're gonna need can all be found at Walmart, which is where I found all my stuff. You could probably go to your local supermarket and get all the same things. I just went to Walmart to get my things. And what you're gonna need first is a funnel. I use the Mainstays brand funnel. For a set of 2, you can have it for $1 at Walmart. You're gonna need 1 funnel only. And then you're gonna want some baby bottle tops. This goes for $4 for a set of 2. And you're going to want some NextCare Absolute Waterproof Tape. Very important. That goes for about $4 at Walmart. You're going to want some Y-shaped suspenders that go over the shoulder to keep your pants up. Y-shaped. And then you're going to end up cutting one strap off. You can see the remnant of one of the straps, but usually they look like one strap going down the middle and 2 going up at an angle. And that's Y-shaped suspenders with an elastic strap for tension that you could use, and it's $9. You can find it at the clothing section of Walmart. And then you're gonna want some small items, safety pins, any old key ring from a keychain with the double loop of the metal rings. And then you're gonna wanna have some tools. So a serrated blade with a nice tip to it. Small scissors. And optionally, you can use a 1/4-inch drill bit with a power drill to help make drilling of the hole through the top of the device a bit easier. You could also use just your knife and drill it in manually with the tip. That works fine, but you can also use a 1/4-inch drill bit if you want. And yeah, so those are the things that you're gonna need. Okay, so the first step is we're gonna take our funnel, and for this set I use a smaller funnel. So we're gonna have our funnel to start out with. And then what we do is we're gonna take our knife and then just cut in to roughly around here, and just use the tip of your blade to push in. This funnel is pretty easy to work with. It's soft plastic, and just like eyeball it and give yourself enough room. You're gonna go for this sort of like length on your funnel. I cut off a bit of the top part of the funnel, which is why like there's a height disparity, but you're gonna want roughly around that in height, so total height. So and then you're gonna want to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and then you can work your way up from there and just whittle it down. But yeah, so around there sounds reasonable. So then we're gonna maybe a little higher up. Maybe a little higher up. A little higher up. Yeah, okay. So then, a little higher up. Okay, so then now you just want to just press in and just cut. Careful with your fingers. And the serrated blade is going to make this a lot easier to do. As you can see, it's not too difficult to cut through. And okay, so there we have the beginning piece. And you can see that there's a bit of a messy cut here. But that's okay, because at one point of the funnel, we're gonna have this Y-cut notch here, very wide and very deep. Keep that in mind to have a comfortable place where you could place the frenulum. So I'm just gonna use this and work with that and just cut a Y shape into it for the frenulum. Okay. Now we're going to be going over this entire base of the funnel with a lot of tape, waterproofing tape, and the waterproofing tape is soft and foamy and thick. So, and we're going to do several layers, so it's going to be very comfortable. So you don't need to worry too much about getting these edges super nice looking. We're going to go over them, but just get like a decent base to go off of. Now I'm just building the deep, wide frenulum notch right here. And try to make it a little bit symmetrical. Okay, it's kind of coming along. Yeah, so it's a bit longer. So that's why I said give yourself a little bit of wiggle room so you could adjust and carve it down. Material is not too difficult to work with at all. It's really soft plastic. This Mainstays brand of funnel. And it's good because if you mess up, it's only $1. You could use the larger funnel. I never do. I just spend the extra $1 and get another one, another set of 2 if I mess up. Let's see. Almost there. All right, so I think this is about a good base to build off of. So you can see there's a very deep, wide notch area. So you don't have the funnel, the cone part of the funnel, or the device, this thing. You don't have like a sharp edge like this part just cutting into the underside of the shaft or the frenulum area. You wouldn't want that. And like I said, we're going to go everything with many layers of very comfortable, thick waterproofing tape. So it's going to work out just fine. And yeah, so that's what you want, roughly. And you can see that the notch goes pretty much to where sort of the parallel part of the funnel starts. And yeah, so all the way down where the angled part meets the straight part. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to take our waterproofing tape, and then we're going to start wrapping the edges for comfort. So what I like to do is, I'll get my scissors ready. I don't even need to use scissors, really. It's really easy to tear. Okay, so we're gonna start with, really doesn't matter, because you could just keep on going over with more layers, and just actually the more layers you use, the better the device stays on, because it forms sort of this moldable area that better fits your skin. But yeah, so don't be too perfect with it. You don't need to be. Yeah, I'll just start here. This is what I normally do. So I like to, you can pull at this to sort of form better fit to the device. And yeah, so there's our first piece applied. See, I pulled this tight around this edge, and it's okay if you have a little bit of wrinkles on the tape. The outermost layer of tape that you apply, that will be like as smooth as you can make it, but the rest underneath is okay. Yeah, so let's see. Gonna go over it again. Pull and apply, wrap it over. Cut off any unnecessary extra spaces. Okay. Then you're gonna wanna do one of the middle ones, and or the inside tapes. So what I like to do is I like to get one edge sort of taped to this side of the notch, and one edge taped to this side of the notch. And then when those are kind of stuck down, I use my two fingers, kind of stretch this back, stretch it back, and sort of like pop the tip over, like so. And that's how I like to do the back piece. So, yeah, you can see now it looks a lot more comfortable. What else we got? What else we got? And we can just keep on going over it. You know, just do the same exact thing. This could go over a little bit. So what we're doing is we're softening up the edges of the device for comfort. And this material is really good because it's soft, it's waterproof, and it's also hypoallergenic. So those of you with allergies, this is hypoallergenic, and you should have less of a problem with this than other tapes. Yeah. And then I go over again. I try to cover the inside edge of this frenulum like so. and sort of have this bit of overhang on top. So you get the picture. Just lots of going over, recovering the top edge, and making this much more comfortable to use. So yeah. There we go. And what I like to do is take a thin strip and just put it down the middle at one point before I go over the final wrappings. You know, just to take care of the very middle. One piece usually should do it. And you could go over and just keep on wrapping over the layers as many times as you want. Whatever fits your preference. Just keep on repeating the same sort of method and that should be fine. And then now I'm going to just go over the top part as well. See what I'm doing here. Yep. And then just one more up top, if you will, for a clean look. All right. And now we're going to do our final inside wrapping piece, just to have this as smooth as possible. Let's see, actually. For the inside, maybe you want to trim off any excess layers. That's okay too. Just in case. Okay. You're just going to want to make this final piece as smooth as possible for comfort reasons. So, same thing. You're going to fold it, this tape. You're going to press the tape in at each side along the inside edges of the notch. So it's just in contact at those points. And you're going to hold that contact point, or both contact points, and then you just want to stretch the inside of the stretch the tape along the inside of the cone, have it roll over the top. You can see. Ooh, that did not look good. Try that again, I guess. It's a good thing that a lot of these ingredients, they have plenty. They come in packs of 2 or big old rolls, and they aren't too expensive, so you could keep on getting better as you learn how to make these. And yeah, so we're gonna press one side, or actually I'm gonna just fold it first. Press one side, stretch, roll the top over, and just end up going like that. Like so. And then we're going to chop off this top piece here. Boom. And we're going to do one final piece of tape. Nice. And then we're going to just want to go over the top. Just make it as uniform as possible along the top. And don't go over the edge, you know. Keep the bottom of this tape over the edge. Should be fine. And you could have a little bit of overhang as well. So something like that. You're gonna want to trim off the excess. Trim off the excess. We got a little piece of something here. Okay. There you go. All sides accounted for. Very wrapped. Spongy. Now there's a bit of give to this device with the wrap. You know, it's padded. Very padded with a sort of spongy, waterproof material. And yeah, now this is going to be super comfortable to wear. And you're not going to have any sort of discomfort from like edges or anything like that. We've padded it very well. And that's the process you want to use. So yeah, you could pad this as much as you want, like I said. As little or as much as you want, it's up to you. And now we're gonna want to put the holes in. So since I have my drill with me, I'm gonna use my drill, but you guys could use the tip of your knife if you need to. It's just the same thing, just straightforward, just drilling a hole through the top. So what we're gonna want to do is be able to fit the key ring through the hole. So you want the hole to be pretty high up to make that process easier. So what I like to do is just start up on the top side. If this is the top, this is the bottom. I just go at the top side. You know, you could do left side going through to the right side also. It doesn't really matter. Just either way. So I'm just gonna go up top and drill. Okay, I'm gonna pick that up so as not to drill through my desk. And then gonna hold this like so, being mindful of my fingers, and I'm just gonna finish through with the drill. It's gonna come out the other side. Boom. And then just to get a nice clean hole, I'm gonna switch the modes to reverse drill mode. And then I'm just gonna hold the drill in place a little bit to clear out any excess parts. And I'm gonna pull out. Now we got a nice clean hole. So that's gonna be used to put your key ring through. So yeah. Okay. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna apply our key ring. So what I like to do is I take my knife, get that ready, and I just try to pry apart the loops because they're pretty stuck together. So I just use I use the blade as leverage and try to work the key ring through the hole. Boom, already got it. And then I'm gonna slide it around. And now I'm gonna use it again to sort of push down the key ring through the hole. And as you can see, it just needs to be pushed down a little bit. Close, very close. Boom. Gotcha. All right, so that's just a trick I know. Use like the knife, separate the loops with it, and just use a bit of leverage to pry apart the key rings, just to make that easier to get them through the holes. Yeah, now we have our little keychain device. Yay. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we're going to take our baby bottle tops. So what we want to do is we're going to take one, and it's pretty much the same process as my other tutorial on how to make a retainer cone, a homemade retainer cone, except for one little tweak. So the bottom is the same. You just want to cut off the bottom brim part of the cone. And now what we're gonna do is a little bit different from the tutorial of how to make the cone. We're gonna want to have this hole pretty much like snugly fitting the width of this top part of the device. So we're not going to cut too much, basically. And with scissors, we just want to start off really reserved, make a really reserved cut. Don't take off too much material. That's obviously too small. So we're going to keep on going. And it's okay if the hole that you make is a bit longer than it is wide. That's going to just make it easier for the key ring to fit through it, because it's going to go through here and we're going to pull up. Let's see, that's too small still. And the thing is, we don't want to make the hole too big, because this is pretty stretchy silicone for the this bell here. It's pretty stretchy, and if the hole is too wide on top of that, this bell could stretch and have the device just pop through the hole. I've noticed that happens sometimes when the hole is too big. So I just try to like get the hole just big enough to fit the key ring and the device through it. Not have it pop through it, you know. So yeah, not have it pop through entirely, because it's happened a couple times with wide hole bells, but that should be good. That should be really, really good. You can see that there's a snug fit. It's not too small. We could fit it through the key ring. We could fit the key ring through the bell pretty easily. And it's pretty snug. So that's about how snug you want it. You could have it a little bit more open. Yeah. Actually, you probably want to have this bell a bit less long. I think that's a bit too long. We didn't need to make it that long. So that involves just having your primary cut across and then just using scissors to go in and slowly cover the sides. But yeah. So now the hole is big enough where we can put the key ring through and the straight part of the funnel through, but not too big as to under tension have this funnel cone device just pop through the bell. You know, this thing's not going to pop through, so that's good. That's good. So there we go. This is that part. Now what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the strap. So with the strap, what I did, as you can see it's already been done, was I took my Y-shaped strap and I cut off one of the longer parts of the strap. So I believe this part is where the strap that goes around, well, this part right here. Oh, never mind. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a Y-shaped strap, which I have already altered, but it originally looked like a strap going down and then two straps of equal length going up at angles. So I just cut the angle straps, one of them, off. And so we just have the straight strap going down and just one of the angle straps remaining. And then that's going to be your stretchable strap that you could use for your knee. And I've placed sort of reminder strips of tape to know where to put the safety pins. So let's see. We want our safety pins, right? And we're going to take one. We're going to undo it. Okay, let's see how I do this. Okay. Okay, so for the knee strap, what we're gonna do is take our suspenders, and here I have Y-shaped suspenders. We have two straps that are meant to go over the shoulder. They come out at an angle, and then we have one strap going down the middle. And we're gonna just take our scissors and just cut off one of these straps, one of the shoulder straps, and remove. So what's left is a somewhat linear strap that we could use. It's a straight strap across that we're going to use to make our knee strap. Now, if you had, for example, X-shaped suspenders, those are another kind, and you would have something like strap coming from here down to here, and then you have a strap going here down to here, like an X. What you do is you would just cut off this strap coming down and the opposite strap. So you would again have that straight linear strap to work with. All right, so now that we have our linear strap, we're gonna use this to make our knee strap. And so we have the middle strap going down, still remaining, and one of the shoulder straps. And the middle strap going down, straight down, is gonna be this part of the strap that connects to the device. So keep that in mind. The other side of the strap will just loop around and reattach to the knee strap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start. Oh yeah, I have little placeholder pieces of tape to mark where the safety pins are gonna go. We're gonna have 2 safety pins going through this knee strap, and that's gonna be around here. So around here for the middle strap going straight down, and then it's going to be roughly around here for the shoulder strap. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to loop this thing around, so like so. Easy does it. All right, so first off, we're going to have one of our safety pins going to go through right where our placeholder tape is, and we're going to go through all of these straps. So make sure you go through all of them, and we're going to go from the outside of the strap in with the safety pin. So like so. We're going to start at the bottom, straight in, and let's get a better puncture. All right, so you can see it went straight in, and we're gonna have it come straight back through. All right, so now you might need to bring the pin down a bit on the opposite side and get an angle for it to come through easier, like so. And then, yeah, there we go. So now we're gonna have our first place to clip. And that's gonna go right here. The shoulder strap with the shoulder strap clip, and there we go. Now we're going to take our other safety pin, and we're going to have the pin go around here, right here. So I'm going to take our safety pin, and we're going to go through all the straps here, including the strap that connects to the device. So we're going to line them up, and then around here we're going to enter in with the safety pin from the outside of the strap again, and we're going to go in starting from the bottom, and then we're going to have this go back through. And there we have it. Beautiful. All right.
For more information on restoring,
now,
you can visit our website using the link posted in the description box below.
Device here.
At our website, you can find more
in.
informational posts
So the tension
and
is
other
set.
updates.
All right.
Thank you.
And this setup, how much tension is given with how much strap there is loose here between the safety pin and the end of the strap, that is ideal for me. Considering how much tension I need where I am in restoring. And you can adjust how much tension you're going to get by just shifting the safety pin to the left or to the right. So as you progress, and you're going to need more tension with your tugging process, your restoring process, you're going to slowly be shifting the safety pin towards the right. And you'll have less and less strap and more tension. So this is completely adjustable, and you could find the sweet spot for your restoring needs. And yeah, so that's how you make this knee strap. And then what you're going to do is you're going to connect your strap to your device there, and boom, that is 100% completed for the DIY homemade restoration tugger. There you go. So thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, this is how to make a DIY homemade tugging restoration device. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out the links below. I got my website down below, and yeah, thanks so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Signing off, and enjoy.